Why pay regular price when you can save money on every purchase with WagerBucks at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo? The 2021 year finish line is on the horizon, and Puck Time hosts Carmine Bianco and Andrew McInnis want to get you there with a great show promo. For a limited time, buy a 1-month all-access package now for $349 and get the rest of the year absolutely free. That's over a $300 savings, and you'll get every sport released from either host. To redeem this offer, purchase a 1-month all-access at regular price and forward your receipt to support@wagertalk.com, requesting the Puck Time promo, and your all sports all-access package will be extended through the end of 2021 for free. Visit wagertalk.com to get this special limited time offer now.
Happy Friday, guys. Welcome back right here to WagerTalk TV. Just Carmen and I today right here on Puck Time. Looking forward to a pretty good show. I've been saying it for a few weeks now, but guys, I'm telling you, the jam-packed cards on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, they're fun days, but I've been having a lot more fun and a lot more success with these shorter cards, and that's what we have here today on a Friday. Some pretty good games and some pretty good situational spots to dive into. Both Carmen and I have some promo codes to give you guys for the weekend. And of course, that great promo you just saw in the commercial there for both Carmine and myself. You can buy 1 month from either of us, and you'll end up getting the rest of 2021 included if you email support at wagertalk.com. It's a great deal we're running right now. Both Carmine and myself, the Puck Time package. Just when you email them, make sure you reference Puck Time. We'll throw in the rest of 2021 for you guys. But Carm, some good games for today. What were your thoughts on last night's games and how you feeling here on this Friday?
Yeah, if you like scoring, there were some real good games yesterday. That Bruins one, I had some side action on that, Andrew, and I in-game bet it when it started because you could tell it would be a high-scoring game. I really wish I had more tickets on that game. They just kept scoring, and Draisaitl, my God, that guy is unconscious when he's got that puck. Huge win, 5-3. There, a lot of surprise, a couple of surprises across the board. I think more than anything, the Islanders laid an egg, but a lot of the other games went as expected. And that Vegas one stayed under the total. I was sweating that one because I had the under in that one, which I mentioned on the show yesterday. And at 3-2, you never feel good. You know that empty net goal's coming, but it never came, Andrew.
Yeah, it was an interesting night, I'll say to say the least. And Carm, I'll be honest, man. I don't know if you remember me talking about this last year. I have not had the best luck betting against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it happened last night. I had the Florida Panthers best bet here on the show. I had the Panthers as a bet with my clients. They come back, ends up going to overtime. Overtime solves nothing, goes to a shootout, and the Pittsburgh Penguins come out on top. They're a team that's resilient. No matter who's in their lineup, man, they seem to have success and be able to get the job done. As far as that Islanders play, I was quite shocked, Carm. The Devils, after a great performance, I thought it might be a letdown. You know, they were feeling good about themselves, but they had another great game, man. The Devils, we got to give them some respect. They're playing some pretty good hockey, man.
No, they are like even missing a couple of players, but they followed up that win with another solid win. So that was good on them. Isles, that was what, game 11, I think, of that 13-game road trip. I think the last couple of games are in Florida, so that can't be a good thing. I think they finish off with I think Florida and Tampa Bay. Not the best finish to a 13-game road trip to start the season, but this is what they have. We saw a rookie goaltender get the win for Washington last night, so they're on the back-to-back. But yeah, some of those games. Listen, we all know. I think Buster tweeted out about it. When these games go to overtime, you're at the mercy of as Brian Leonard says, puck luck. There's nothing you can do. I had Florida as well too in that one, and it goes to a shootout, and you need one save in the shootout. Doesn't happen. It's just one of those things. But they had a chance to close it out. 4-on-3 power play for a full 2 minutes. They couldn't score in OT. Florida. So this is what you get after 60 minutes. It goes to overtime. You're flipping a coin for a winner.
Definitely. It is what it is, though, Carm. And hopefully by the end of the season, we'll try and get on the winning side more often than not with those overtimes and shootouts. But it's tough. It's tricky. But yeah, great call, by the way, for you with the goals in the Oilers and Bruins game. You mentioned that off the top. But exciting game. And Leon Draisaitl just continues to impress. Like you said, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about McDavid. I'm curious, Carm, what Draisaitl would be like if we just plopped him on another team. Put him on a weak team and see what happens, because he's impressive, man.
It doesn't, it's the thing is it doesn't always work that way. It's just the way in which teams set up. But sometimes you can drop a good centerman on a team that doesn't have one, and it helps that that second line or third line. I always say you can't just pluck a guy, and I get where you're coming from. Stick him on a team and think there's instant rewards. I think years past, teams like the New York Rangers tried to buy their way to a cup, and for so many years didn't succeed. So it's one of those things. The interesting thing, I want to go back to like one of the other games from last night, was the St. Louis game. I did take the St. Louis first period minus half a goal plus the plus money there, and it's what I thought. A tough start for Nashville in that game, but that Preds team, they just picked up their legs. They outplayed St. Louis in the second and third periods and come back and win that game. Those is one of those tough ones where you think a team on a back-to-back down 2-0 right out of the hopper, and you're like, okay, well, they should coast here. They definitely didn't coast. Nashville, as you say sometimes, man, I hate these guys, them or Dallas, that really tighten the screws on some of our bets.
Yeah, and it's almost like therapy, Carm. I come on here and I tell you I hate certain teams, and if they start continuing to do what they're doing, then I got to start giving them respect. I can't keep on and coming on here and saying that their analytics aren't really what they should be, because it seems like they really are. I just want to say, before we get into the show, we do have to get into some of these games. It's what the people are here for. But the goaltender for the Washington Capitals, he played junior in Halifax, the city where I'm from. I got to watch him. Great guy. He was great in the community as well. He won the Memorial Cup with them. He's had a battle. He got drafted by the Montreal Canadiens. They got rid of him. He was playing actually down in the ECHL. Then he got traded to the Washington Capitals organization after he played for Vegas in them. People don't realize what these goaltenders go through. Think about it, how many goaltenders there really can be in the NHL. Each team just has two goaltenders, maybe a third stringer, but it's a battle for them. And for him to be the first goaltender in franchise history to make a debut and get a shutout, I thought that was pretty incredible and pretty impressive for him. So happy to see that for a great guy. But today's games, we're going to talk about all of them, but we'll leave that Arizona game for last, Carm, because, for obvious reasons. But Philadelphia Flyers, Carolina Hurricanes, Calgary Flames, and the Maple Leafs, Oilers and Sabres, and last but certainly not least, the Capitals and the Blue Jackets. Let's start things off in Carolina with the Carolina Hurricanes minus 185 favorites. Philadelphia plus 155. Road dogs here. Total sits at 5.5. And Carm, I'm going to throw it to you with this. You cashed a 5% winner for your clients, fading the Philadelphia Flyers the other night. The Leafs play one of their best defensive performances of the season. And I've said all year long, I felt like Philadelphia was top heavy. And when that top line isn't scoring, they're in trouble. Do you feel that this is the same for them here tonight, that they might be up for a tough task here?
Yeah, I did say I'm going to look at spots to fade this Philadelphia team this year. And while I like Carolina here, this isn't a fade on Philadelphia. More so than this is a play on Carolina. They're playing extremely well. They bounced back from that loss to Florida and beat Tampa in Tampa. They've only lost one game thus far. They've really only played one bad period. And that was where they allowed 4 goals in the first 15 minutes of that game against Florida. But the rest of the way, they were the better team. That 5th goal from Florida came as an empty netter when the score was 4-2. They really played well. And then they carry that over into Tampa Bay. So, returning home, how do you play against them? If you're finding something that tells you to play Philadelphia, all you're finding is, hey, they're a big price. Let me take a big dog in this spot. There is no information that I can find that tells you Philadelphia can win in Carolina. Does that mean they won't win? No, nothing is guaranteed. But we talked about the reason for fading Philadelphia is they had outplayed their analytics as far as I was concerned. And at some point, that regression is going to step in. Maybe it steps in here too, but they're also playing a very good Carolina Hurricane squad. So, for me, it's only take a team that's only played one bad period all year. That's it. Look at their games. They've been playing extremely well. At some point, they're going to tail off as well too. But I'm not looking for that to happen tonight. So it's Carolina for me.
Carolina for me as well. And I actually have a lean towards the under in a game that, I've looked at plenty of overs this season with the Carolina Hurricanes. But if you look at it, Carm, a lot of the overs have come from them doing all the scoring. And I always say if you're betting an over in any single sport, basketball, football, hockey, you need to have two dance partners. You can't tango with one person. And I feel like Philadelphia, maybe they do bounce back. Maybe the Leafs did have a good defensive performance, but I got a feeling we see Carolina, play along the boards, play a dump and chase style of hockey. And Philadelphia, same thing for them. We'll see what happens on the road. But Carmen and I both looking towards the Carolina side, potentially even a parlay piece for a two-teamer, but looking at the regulation for the Carolina Hurricanes. The Calgary Flames, they are on a back-to-back here. They're playing the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they might have played a team last night known as the Montreal Canadiens, who got the win against them, Carm. I was feeling good about that one. Not giving up on my Habs. It was a tough start to the season. They take down the Calgary Flames. The Leafs are at home, minus 185 here. Calgary, plus 155. And this is a Flames team that started off their season very impressive on the road. They hadn't lost a game on the road, actually. They've been rock solid here. Mangiapane, Gaudreau, Lindholm, these guys are playing really well. Markstrom has been outstanding for them. We will not see him in goal tonight. The Leafs, like I mentioned, coming off that great performance against the Flyers. Are you buying into this team being better defensively this year, Carm? Because, just a year ago or a year prior to that, the Leafs were an automatic over team. Now we're actually starting to convincingly see under 5.5s or consistent 5.5s as their total.
Yeah, you know what, Andrew, they are playing better defensively. That was probably their best defensive game this year that the Leafs have played, and maybe in a couple of years. And you look at some of their games, the games against, a good game against Chicago, the one against Detroit finished 5-4, but there was a couple of defensive miscues. But then 4-0 win over Vegas, Tampa Bay 2-1, Boston 5-2. These aren't lower half of the standings teams. These are some teams that can play hockey and can score. So it bodes well. If you're a Leafs fan, it's got to bode well that the team is learning how to play defense and playing it well right now, because that's what you're going to need to win in the playoffs. The Flames, I'm not sure what's happened to their scoring. It's kind of dried up after that good start. Losses in 4 of the last 5. That one win was a 6-0 win against the Rangers. And listen, that is an anomaly. As far as games go, it was a bad game by Shesterkin, and they could play that game 10 times and the Flames wouldn't score 6 goals in any one of those 10 games. With that said, we know Calgary played Toronto tough last year. Came into Toronto, played them very tough. Off of back-to-back, they were 6-4 last season, so a winning record in back-to-backs. I don't know, tough game in Montreal. They go back to Toronto against a team that's playing extremely well. I would lean lower scoring here, just based on the fact that the Flames aren't really scoring. If they're going to win one, they're going to try and win one of those 3-2 type games that they did last year in Toronto. The over right now is 5.5 minus 130-ish. So if that even takes a tick more and goes to like 135 or 140, the next change is 6+ money on the over, in which case I would come in on the under. So I'll probably wait a little longer to get to the window on this one, but if I do, I'm going to lean the under.
Great stuff, Carl. I'm right there with you. And the goalie we should see for the Calgary Flames, Dan Vladar, a guy that's bounced around a little bit, but found a home with the Calgary Flames. Well, I shouldn't say bounced around. Played for the Bruins, got moved to Calgary. But he's looked solid, and I don't really see anything changing from him. I think Markstrom is outstanding. You and I would both agree he's a solid goaltender. But the theory that I have, as far as teams playing better defensively in front of their backups, especially young backups, it's looked really strong. Even against the Maple Leafs, I think it's been a real strong play, looking at some of these teams to play a different style of hockey, knowing that their backup isn't in there. sometimes you look at in baseball, yeah, the guy that's down the depth, like the third or fourth pitcher out there, he's the one that gets that run support, and sometimes the ace doesn't even get that run support, which is shocking. And looking at right now, Dan Vladar, I think that they might try and play even better defense, knowing that he's behind there and it's not Markstrom.
Yeah, Andrew, and I'll add to that. This is something that for more than a few years I charted. I didn't chart it the last two COVID years because the travel and the new divisions kind of really screwed that up. But with backup goalies playing, there were a lot more low-scoring games. Our tendency is an easy one, as as sort of bettors or gamblers. We're like, oh, they've got like the emergency goalie in or the backup goalie in the second half of a back-to-back. They're not going to play well in this one, or they're going to lose one. That's not the case. It was a winning percentage for playing unders in the games where there was a backup goalie in net. So I'll actually pull that up and maybe show it on a show next week, the Excel sheet on that one that I have. But that does not include the last two seasons, just because the last two seasons, 71 game seasons and a 56 game season, and different divisions, it just changed things up completely. But case in point, I think they play better defensively. One of the reasons why I'm kind of leaning to the under in this spot.
And credit has to go towards Jack Campbell as well. 0.936 save percentage and 1.9 goals against average. He's played real well for the Toronto Maple Leafs, definitely helping them back out there between the pipes. So look forward to this game as well. I do like the Leafs. I don't really like this spot here with the Calgary Flames on the back-to-back, but I'm sure they won't really be satisfied with the game last night. One thing I worry about, Carm, is the penalty taking for the Calgary Flames. We know how lethal the Maple Leafs power play can be when it's clicking, and I find on back-to-backs you start to see some undisciplined play with some teams. Does that ever factor into you? Because I feel like it could be a thing tonight with Calgary Flames, taking too many untimely penalties.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to be smarter. You would hope, and it's a back-to-back. The flight from, as we know the trip from Toronto to Montreal is less. It's an hour or so, so it's a quick trip. But back-to-backs are always tough. You always think a team plays better defensively, I think, in the second half of a back-to-back. I'm not sure. That Leafs power play could have scored a couple of goals in that game against Philadelphia. They had more than a few chances, so you don't want to give them that opportunity here. I'm hoping for a tight checking, low scoring game. Maybe Philly played well defensively. This is at least on the power play. But I'm just going to lean to the under here until I see something from Calgary where they can start scoring again. I just don't want to touch anything to do with overs, and that's probably the only reason why this total is 5.5 and not 6 for a game that's in Toronto.
I'll tell you one thing, Calgary is going to be on a long road trip, so I'll probably look for that strategy I have been looking for and look for an over nearing the end of that road trip. But as for now, I'm right there on the under train with Carm. Next game up, let's look at the Oilers and Carmine's Buffalo Sabres. That's actually been all right so far this season. They had a good start anyway to the season, but they're back to being big plus dogs against pretty much every team they play. And it makes sense they're plus dogs here against the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers with an outstanding third period. They actually trailed for the majority of the game last night against the Bruins and had a great third period, got the job done, winning that 5-3. Buffalo here, Carm, is it a good spot for them? Stuart Skinner been projected to start for the Edmonton Oilers. We just talked about backup goaltenders and teams rallying around them, but can Buffalo and Edmonton trade goal for goal here? I'm looking at the over in this game, actually. I know Buffalo was a different team without Olofsson, someone that's kind of driven their offense quite a bit, but I still feel like there's some guys out there that can score. And I think Buffalo's going to be a way better team this year at home. So I like the over 6 in this one.
I'm good with the over 6, just because, the scoring is going to come from Edmonton in this one. Skinner was either going to play one of the two games. When he didn't play yesterday, it was pretty much a game would play in this spot. The Sabre games, listen, since that good start by the Sabres, their games have been trending over. Very good defensive start. Look at their schedule, look at their games, and they're winning because they're allowed or 2 goals again and getting by scoring, 2 or 3 themselves. But since then, that defense has kind of gone south. They've lost, 5 straight now? 4 of those, and I think the last 4 have gone over the total. And you're playing Edmonton team yesterday back. This is the second half of a back-to-back, but we saw what they did to the Bruins defense yesterday, getting 5. 10-2 this year, 8-2-2 to the over. I look at the team total, Andrew, and it's like, do I take Buffalo to even score in this game, or do I just take the team total of Edmonton over 3.5 goals, which is minus 120? That might be a way to go as far as this goes, because this game could very well finish 4-1 for Edmonton, or 4-2, and you're pushing on that total of 6. So I'm looking at possibly the Edmonton team total here. I think 3.5 goals. I think they get it tonight. The Sabres haven't been able to keep anybody from putting that puck in the net. So I'm not sure if it starts.
Well, with the scoring that Edmonton's capable of, it's hard to really talk you off a team total any night with them, with the ability they have and the amount of players they have that can contribute offensively. Our last game is another back-to-back opportunity here. We have the Washington Capitals and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Interesting spot here, guys, because the Columbus Blue Jackets, well, they haven't played in 6 days. So it's super interesting for them. They have plenty of rest. And I'm curious to see what happens if rest is really a good thing for them. One thing is they get lots of practice time. No Max Domi for them. No Patrick Laine. Couple key forwards out for this team. And, well, this is a Columbus team that had a pretty good start to their season, surprising a couple different people. Washington, they're on that back-to-back. They played well yesterday, like we mentioned. Barely gave up any shots, though, Carm. So to me, when I look at back-to-backs, I want to look at, okay, how much were they really tested? How competitive was their game the night before? I believe Fucali had to make like 23 saves, 24 saves. It wasn't too much for the goaltender and the defense. But that doesn't really say anything against their defense. I just feel like they kind of dominated that game offensively. But Washington, 8-2, their last 10 back-to-back situations here. And they're just minus 130. I've cashed some plus tickets this year so far with Columbus. I don't think tonight's one of those nights. People think rest is always a good thing. I think this rest might be just a little bit too much rest here. And without Patrick Laine and some key guys, I feel like this is a different team with Columbus here. I'm on Washington. Minus 130, Carm.
Well. It only took 4 games for you and I to land on the opposite side play, Andrew. I'm going to take Columbus. I'm going to take the Jackets here. Yes, I know they've come off, but they're playing extremely well right now, and quality wins at home. If you look at, I think it's going to be Merzlikins in net tonight. One bad start, and that was to Colorado. But he's 5-1 with a 1.98 goals against average. He's playing extremely well. The team is playing well. They've moved on from the Tortorella years and are playing really well. Well enough to make the playoffs this year? Likely not, but who knows? If they just keep grinding wins and playing well at home and picking up points on the road, themselves in that, in that talking point at the end of the year for one of those bottom 2 spots in the playoffs. I just think I'm getting plus 110 at home against a Washington team that's on the tail end of a back-to-back. I'm going to give it a shot here. Give me Columbus plus 110.
It's going to be a good game. I think you can really make an argument for each side, Carm. It should be interesting to see how that rest fares for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Do you want to touch on this last game, Carm? I know you actually have a bet as far as your power play involving the last game. So why don't we save that for show best bets and for the power plays? We can discuss that one at the end when you give us your power play on the show. We have a new segment we're going to introduce here today with Carmine. He is going to blast through some games and give us some quick picks. So, Carm, the floor is yours. I'll hand it over to you. The shot clock will start. And when that shot clock starts, you have to get all your opinions, all your predictions in within that 1-minute time slot. Carm, the floor is yours, man.
Okay, guys, this is going to be a 6 and 60, all games that are going on Saturday. Not every game on the card, just 6 games. And I'll give you a quick little stat on these ones. All right. Devils, Bruins, I'm going to go under 5.5. That's the early game. 6 of 8 between these two last year went under the total. Buffalo and Toronto, we're going to take the Leafs tomorrow in regulation time, minus 10. Sabres 5-game losing streak could be 6 after tonight. The Leafs, it's usually a home game in Buffalo with so many Leaf fans. Detroit, Montreal. I'm going to take Detroit minus 110. End of a 4-game homestand. Big wins over Vegas and Edmonton. Nashville and Zona under 5.5. 5 straight home unders for Nashville. 4 straight road unders for Arizona under 5.5. Colorado, San Jose. We're going to take the Avs minus 1.5 plus 120. The Canucks couldn't stop the Avs. Let's see if the Sharks can. I don't think they can. And the final one, Seattle and Minnesota. Minnesota minus 115 in Seattle. It's going to be a wild night in Seattle.
Wow. With 4 or 5, maybe 6 seconds to spare. I love it, Carm. If I ever need an auctioneer, I know who to call. I don't think I've ever heard you speak that fast in my life. Oh my goodness. If we spoke that fast during a whole show, every show would be like 6 minutes long. That was impressive.
Thank you. Guys, we're going to make this a regular feature on Fridays where I do a 6 in 60. The teams and graphics will be up there. This is my fault this week. I threw it on my producers really last minute, and they were able to get some graphics and that shot clock up there. This one's on me. Next week, we will have the games listed so you can see where I'm going with each and every game.
I love it, Carm. I love that segment. Great stuff. And I'll have some videos up at WagerTalk TV for tomorrow's games. We're trying to do some more content on Saturday's games because we don't have shows over the weekend. And make sure you guys are following the Puck Time WT Twitter account. Carm and I haven't been posting as much lately on that, but we'll start posting some free picks and some promos and all of that good stuff. But jumping into some promo stuff here, guys, I do want to remind you of that great deal we have going on for both Carm and myself. The buy 1 month over at WagerTalk.com. We'll throw in the rest of 2021 if you email support at WagerTalk.com. 1 month, all access, every single sport. That means NBA, college hoops, UFC, NHL, CFL, everything. You name it. You buy that 1 month, all access. We'll throw in the rest of 2021 if you email support at WagerTalk.com. It's a great deal, Carm. I'm really looking forward to people taking advantage of it.
It is. And I'll add an incentive without saying what the incentive is on this one. If you pick up that package, that all access Puck Time special in and around Christmas time, I will drop another nugget for anyone who has bought Christmas nugget for you guys. Anyone who took care of that deal, either for Andrew or myself. But I'm not going to put it out there now. You will find out closer to Christmas time. So tis the season of giving, Andrew.
I love it. They call him Carm Claus, not Santa Claus, Carm Claus. I'll try and be more creative with that one, but Santa Carm. Look, I have one more promo to give, AM49, and that is one weekend pretty much, 3 days, $49 for 3 days using that coupon code AM49. You guys all know how jam-packed the weekend is. We don't want you buying just one pick. We don't want you worrying about just buying one package. AM49 gets you 3 days, all access, every sport, $49. Best bet time. My best bet is the pick that Carmine disagreed with. So hopefully it's one that he's wrong about for tonight. The Washington Capitals, they're 8-2, their last 10 back-to-back situations. Columbus Blue Jackets missing some key players. They have a lot of rest, but I feel like that might be rust, not rest here in this situation for them. And I think we're getting a pretty short price on the Capitals. So Capitals minus 130 for my power play here. Let's throw it over to Carm for his promotions and best bet.
All right. Let's see if we can end the week off with a best bet winner. I won the first, I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays were all winners. Thursday was a loser. I got chirped on that one for some reason on Twitter. I don't know why. It's a free play. But with that said, listen, same thing, a 3-day promo. I have a soccer this afternoon, World Cup qualifying, 3 games. First one goes at noon. So grab that quickly. And then also a couple games in NHL tonight, and then full cards on the weekend. Soccer, NFL, college football, just a ton of, and of course, NHL, a ton of stuff going on. Use code AA20 and get $20 off that $69 3-day all-access price. I'm going to that last game. Chicago is a buy-on team. I think over the next little while, I think they've turned the corner, starting to play a lot better, especially defensively. I'm going to take them in regulation time against the free card or the free space on the bingo card, Arizona. So give me the Chicago Blackhawks minus 125 in regulation time, Andrew.
Great stuff, Carm. Always fun doing the show. Hope you have a great weekend. And hey, it's never a bad idea to bet against the Arizona Coyotes. You can find the power plays on the screen. Quick recap. I have Washington. Carm has the Blackhawks in regulation time. I want to thank Dan, our producer, everybody in behind the scenes stuff at WagerTalk. On behalf of Carmine, I'm Andrew, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
The 2021 year finish line is on the horizon, and Puck Time hosts Carmine Bianco and Andrew McInnis want to get you there with a great show promo. For a limited time, buy a 1-month all-access package now for $349 and get the rest of the year absolutely free. That's over a $300 savings, and you'll get every sport released from either host. To redeem this offer, purchase a 1-month all-access at regular price and forward your receipt to support@wagertalk.com. Requesting the Puck Time promo and your all sports all access package will be extended through the end of 2021 for free. Visit wagertalk.com to get this special limited time offer now.